Hello, beautiful, beloved Earthkin. My name is Alicia Sunflower, and this is an intuitive spread and reading for the month of September 2019. If this is your first time tuning in to one of my readings for the collective, I'll let you know that I love to do these intuitive spreads where I pull from multiple diverse decks and find a spread that just kind of forms, and then there's a more in-depth reading that comes through intuitively seeing the combination of all the different cards from the different decks together. So this month I'm pulling from 3 different decks. I'm using the medicine cards, which uses the beautiful form of animal medicine. Then I'm also using Sacred Geometry Oracle deck, which of course uses sacred geometry, and then also using the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild, which really helps us to tap into our divine and rebellious heart and courage and spirit. So the way that these cards have come together for this month of September looks like this. So it's formed this really beautiful, what I see as a mountain. And it's not too surprising that we're finding this mountain energy as we are really in a time of a lot of earth energy right now. The sun, of course, has moved into Virgo, but there are multiple planets that are also in Virgo at the time of the super full new moon that happened on August 30th. We had all the personal planets in Virgo, as well as the sun and the moon. So there's a high amount of Virgo energy throughout the month. We have 7 to 8 planets in earth signs. So there's a very strong earth energy. This is a very grounded time. This is a very practical, physical, embodied time for us. And this is already speaking to us just through the layout of the cards with this mountain. And I'm also seeing with this mountain that this is a part of the journey itself, you know. We're climbing up this mountain, as it were, through this spread and throughout this month. This is our journey, seeking to reach a new peak, a new pinnacle. Something else that I'm feeling about this spread just off the get-go as well is last month's spread was this beautiful kind of Taurus energy field that had a lot of different forms of like celestial frequencies. There was all this energy coming in through the solar flares, through the magnetic resonance of the earth, through the astrology, through the cards. There was a lot of energy coming in and a lot of influx of new creativity, new ideas. And now we're moving into Virgo season. It's time to get practical about it, to build, to climb this mountain, to reach this new level, this new pinnacle, this new peak. So whenever we begin climbing a mountain, where do we start? Typically we start at the bottom, we start at the foundation, we start at the base level. And so that's where we're going to start today as we read this mountain spread of ours. And so with that, we have our medicine cards with our animal medicine. And what comes in today is we have elk and porcupine and black panther in reverse. So let's start with elk and we'll work our way across. So the elk medicine is all about stamina. Okay, this is about pacing ourselves. This is about using our energy wisely. This isn't about rushing to be the first one done to reach a goal, but rather to be in balance with our energy so that we can really truly succeed at what it is that we want to get to, what we want to create. All this insight and downloads that have been coming in for us this summer, and especially within this last cycle, are here to be manifested into physical reality. And we may have taken on a lot in all of our journeys through this summer, and our vision may have grown a lot, and we're seeing a lot of things that we want to do and create. And so there's also this message about being practical, not to take too much on, and to take breaks, to be in rest, to take care of our physical body, to think about our nutritional needs, think about our physical needs, think about our comfort, as well as thinking about how to use our energy effectively and efficiently as we go. Keeping up that pace, keeping up that stamina, that this is truly strength. that elk really embodies this ability to keep up with it. You know, if an elk's being chased by a cougar or a mountain lion, for instance, it is their stamina, their ability to pace themselves with their energy that helps them to outrun the lion and to survive. So really coming back to this balance with our energy, pacing, and stamina. Another message of elk as well is that these are very social mammals, that elks have friends with other elk, that they hang out with each other, and that when mating season isn't happening, female elk hang out with female elk and male elk hang out with male elk. So there is a message in this to really seek out kinship, to seek out friendship. And while that might mean for some people seeking out same-sex types of friendship, I think that there's even a more deeper part of that, which is really about, you know, who's in resonance with you, who's in alignment with you. That could be in the spectrum of gender, but it could be in deeper ways as well. Spend time with your herd, spend time with the people who you are like, who you like, and that this is an important part of taking care of our energy and also having some reflections that keep us from pushing too hard or too fast. So that community piece as well as that pace piece with elk. And then moving into the center of our foundation with porcupine. Porcupine is all about embodying the medicine of innocence. So here at the core of our mountain is this place of innocence, of playfulness, of coming back into the joy of living as spirit on an adventure here in this reality. So many different things for us to experience and to play with. Very playful energy with porcupine. And that this playfulness, this innocence comes from a very strong foundation of trust and faith. Trust and faith in the divine and the divine plan unfolding, and this awareness that all we need to do to be a part of the highest and greatest good for all is to become in alignment with our own true gifts and true purpose. That we can have trust and faith that Spirit has set it up so that we can find out our true gift and purpose, and that we'll get all the opportunities we need to be ordered to realize it in this lifetime. So part of the medicine of porcupine as well is being able to, kind of get some lightness from the serious. There's a lot of seriousness in our world for a lot of good reason. And Virgo energy as well can be really serious and, perfectionistic, and we can worry about things. And so it's important that we bring balance to that as well. To bring some of this play, some of this lightness of heart, some of this joy from a place of trust and faith and surrender to the divine, so that we can, continue to also have more stamina. What we do with our internal energy and how we approach things with our perspective has a lot to do with our overall energy levels and whether we feel drained or uplifted. So a deep reminder to move into trust and faith and play and innocence. And this is an important part of the work for all of us this month. And as we continue to the other side of the mountain, the last foundation card that we have is Black Panther. And this card is also in reverse. So let's talk about Black Panther in and of itself first. So this is the Midnight Jaguar. This is a jaguar indeed. It's a spotted cat, but it's black spots on a black coat. So these spots are very mysterious and, only can be seen when just the right kind of glimmer of light. And that there is an ability with all animals who really possessed a darkness and a blackness of their coloring, a great ability to be one with the void, to go into the void, to go into the darkness, to go into the mystery, to find our answers, to find our treasures, to find our unexpected blessings. And so Black Panther comes along to help us to do this, that there is a need for us to move into a place of accepting the mystery and thusly letting go of fear. to drop our worries, to drop our fear, that being in this place of a fear vibration doesn't help us to get where we need to go. And with a Black Panther being in the reverse position, there's a very particular reminder to pay attention to our thoughts, that we may be creating conflict for ourselves with our perspective and our ways of thinking, that we might be really hung up on black or white thinking, really seeing things in a polarized way, and that this is a big cue that we have some shadows to look at that are around this way of thinking, and that it is time to really go into the void, to go into the womb, to be still, to be silent, to release, to receive, and to be. This continues to be a part of the work. We need to continue to create space to be with the aspects of ourselves that are not in our alignment with our highest and greatest good. And to do so with compassion as well. That there's a real gift in being able to engage in a warm embrace of the mystery and the darkness, to learn from it and to also release it and let it go when it no longer serves us. So strong foundations this month as we make this trek up our mountain, up we're building, up what we're creating, to pace ourselves, to have stamina, to make sure we continue to connect with our resonant community, to come back to a place of innocence and play, as well as to have trust and faith in the divine and the plan unfolding, and to be aware that we need to move into a space of accepting the mystery, to let go of fear, and to be questioning of any polarized thinking that we might be noticing for ourselves, and to really stay keenly aware on that. So as we have kind of, gone over the foundation of our mountain, now we're ready to move a little higher. And that's where we move into our Sacred Geometry Oracle cards. And for these two cards, it's very interesting because I feel there's this kind of these mini mountains as well that move upwards, where we have elk and porcupine supporting our first Sacred Geometry Oracle card, Antakarana. And Antakarana is a medicine tool. This is a meditation tool. This is a deep symbol from Tibetan culture that has been in Tibet and China for thousands of years, and that people have used with specifically to connect with their higher self. This helps us to rewire our physical brains to receive and accept and connect more deeply with our true essence and our true consciousness. So this is a bridge. This helps us to bridge that which we really are into this physical reality, into our experience of being. A very powerful tool that helps remind us that not only can we create this bridge and this connection, but this is who we are. We are our higher selves. And seeing this being supported by elk and by porcupine, seeing that there's this balance, finding this balance with our energy, with our pacing, with our stamina, and having a deep trust and faith in the divine, in spirit, is a part of then how we can truly anchor in more of our true essence and of who we really are, which is all a part of how we can be of service, fulfilling our missions, and helping with the liberation and ascension of all beings. So also an invitation with this symbol is to keep it with you. Put it on your altar, in your sacred space, or on your fridge, or on your cell phone background, or on your laptop, somewhere where you're going to see it. And that every time you see it, reminding yourself, this connection with my higher self is here. It's with me. This door is always open. All I need to do is open it, drop into this true essence that I am, and then I have all the guidance and power and clarity and strength that I need. So key piece with being connected to our higher self is a lot of work that we've been doing to continue to embody this this truth that we are. And of course, right along with that is the Doctahedron, which is in reverse. And Doctahedron, being supported by Porcupine and Black Panther, this is the card of divine will. of divine thought. The dodecahedron is a Platonic solid, which is one of the basic shapes of the universe that kind of fills up everything. This one specifically resonates with the element of ether. This is heaven. This is prana. This is our breath. So this is that aspect of energy, of physical matter, that is less seen and more felt. This is indeed very much like a higher self type of energy. This is why it's divine will, divine thought. And with this card being in reverse, it's pointing out to us the places in which we are not seeing unity consciousness, where we are feeling polarized. So right from the Black Panther pointing out black and white thinking and a need to look at shadows, we see the dodecahedron reflecting this. As we continue our journey up the mountain, we need to be very practical and aware and alert of our habitual unconscious thinking patterns that keep us trapped in polarity consciousness, blocking us from being in the truth of unity consciousness and receiving direct revelation of divine thought and divine will through our higher self. So as we continue to up the ante of embodying and anchoring in more of our true essence and our connection with our higher selves, we also need to continue to pay attention to the places in which we have blocks to this, where we block ourselves with our own thinking, our own separation within our own conscious being, where we keep ourselves in discontent or disharmony or conflict. It's time to move more deeply into healing these parts of our mind and of our frequency and of our consciousness, to bringing that unity within so that we can be a part of that unity without. And as we then move upwards to the very top of our mountain, we make our way to our Sacred Rebels Oracle card. And this is the card of visions of life beyond death. Also notable that it's number 44 in the deck, which holds a very strong resonance with the angelic realm and with the archangels. So a little extra layer of a blessing to be aware of in this card. And what this card is speaking to is the gift of sacred vision. That's the ability to see what is real other than what rather appears to be. And that this is awakening in us now. This sacred vision. This is something that we've all been working towards, and we can see in the overall mountain itself that the foundation of these practices of how we are with our energy, both externally and internally, continuing to do the work of connecting to our higher selves and addressing our shadows and bringing our conscious more into unity. This is a part of what will bring us this awakening of this sacred vision within us. If you're not familiar with Elena Fairchild's Oracle decks, they are amazing. They're so good. She's an amazing channel, an amazing writer, and I feel called to share with you a snippet from this card that Elena herself wrote. So the gift of genuine vision takes you into the being of the universal creator. This is sacred terrain, beyond logic, convention, and that which is limited in any way. The more open you are to receiving true vision, the more you will feel and recognize within and around you. Something may appear to change form, to be shed, to be lost, or to die, but there is love within it always. This realization doesn't remove the pain of the loss, but it does provide a way through which it can be healed and eventually transformed into peace. So part of what's happening with this vision that's going to come through is it might be a bit of a shock to you. It might mean some letting go. It might mean some death of ego or self or ways of being. It might be some ending of relationships, which could be how you relate to yourself inside as well as outside. There's going to be some kind of shift with this sacred vision, and parts of that shift might be a bit painful. There might be a sense of loss or unpleasantness that occurs as a part of that shift, but that it is also bringing you more freedom and more liberation, more clarity, more strength, and more willpower, as it is a gift from the Divine Mother, from divine thought, from divine will. And so that knowing that whatever comes up with this, that the Divine Mother always holds us in mercy and justice and wisdom. And so she's going to take care of us, and that we can really have trust and faith, again, moving back down to that core card at the foundation of the mountain with Porcupine, that everything is working out best case scenario. Everything is working out best case scenario. Everything is working out best case scenario. I'm worth it and I deserve miracles. Little shout out to Activation Vibration, Heather, for that beautiful mantra. So to really see that it's time to move from seeing from the eyes of fear into the eyes of love. And part of this vision, I think, is going to be helping us to do that, to see these places of shadows where we've been holding ourselves back, where we've been creating separation and duality in our own existence and conscious experience of reality, and to bring it back into unity, to bring it back into love, that this is really what we're working for within and without. And so we're moving into a heightened sense of this. And I want to talk a little bit about the beautiful imagery on this card. This is a very feminine card. We have the elder woman, the crone, who is the wise woman, the wise medicine woman, the wise witch, who has been around the block and walks and lives in her medicine and her truth. And it is upon her crown that we see this blossoming of a full moon, supported by 3 of the bird nations, the owl, the raven, and the peacock. All about being able to be in our power and our majesty and our regality, while also being able to navigate that darker realm and that mystery and that void, and finding the magic that we need, as well as being able to see clearly, to have divine sight. And that this is all a part of what is expanding from this vision. So this is a very feminine blessing, and a blessing from the Divine Mother herself, this sacred vision that will be coming through for all of us. It's really time to nourish understanding in our heart that we are always cared for, because this will help us to fulfill our missions. So again, moving back to Porcupine, trust and faith, trust and faith. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the astrology that is happening at this time that is supporting this spread as well. We already talked about this is a very earth-laden month. This is also a very mutable month, where we have 7 planets that are all in mutable signs throughout the month. And so that means that we are being able to engage in change and shifting in a very grounded and practical way. Additionally, we have the full moon in Pisces coming up on Friday the 13th, September 13th. So Friday the 13th is a very sacred day. There's this misconception that it's like an evil time, but this is much more about the patriarchal lens of the feminine than it is about truth. Indeed, this is a very feminine day. There are 13 lunar cycles within a solar year. All of this happening on this Friday. This is a sacred day, and it's a Pisces full moon. This is a very feminine full moon. Pisces energy, deeply emotional, deeply intuitive, deeply psychic. That what's really going to be coming forth at the time of this full moon is this idealism that is going to be made practical in how we can be of service. And I see a connection here with the Sacred Vision card, with this full moon here on the crown. I think that there is a very strong chance that the sacred vision that is going to be coming through is going to be coming through in a particularly strong way come the full moon. So from around the 11th to the 15th, in that window of the full moon energy, really encouraging you to open yourself up to the consciousness that wants to come through, to the sacred vision that wants to come through, by getting into an altered state of consciousness. That could look like doing breath work. That could look like doing different types of meditation. That could look like being in movement and dancing. That could look like singing and drumming. That could look look like engaging in different types of plant medicines in a safe and way that is a good container. This could look like doing different kinds of hypnotherapy or hypnosis. They're going on different types of journeying, or what's known as shamanic journeying sometimes. All of these different ways to get into these altered states of consciousness, being in a flow state as well. There's so many ways. I encourage you to go with the way that you know is tried and true for you during this window of the 11th through the 15th of September, so you can really receive the sacred vision that wants to come through for you and to you during this time. It's a really really beautiful happening this month, moving from this place of expansion and mass downloads that was happening, and there's still going to be a lot of downloads, there's still a lot of energy for that, but now we're really coming into this grounded place with it. Saturn also goes direct this month on the 18th, and Mars is moving through Virgo the whole month, so we have both Saturn and Capricorn going direct. We're going to be able to see really clearly what our responsibilities are, how we've been out of line with that, how we've been in line with that, and how we can move forward. And with Mars, our planet action, being in Virgo, we're going to be able to see and know how to take very practical, grounded steps in that work of being in our responsibility and our integrity. And one other piece that I'd like to share is a crystal ally and friend that wanted to be a part of this reading today. This is my very special, beautiful rainbow fluorite. And one reason why this wanted to come through today is this is a mountain. There are these beautiful trees within the chevron shape of the fluorite, and this whole just mountain shape, and even like this coastline or river down here, and this is just how this happened to grow. What a beautiful gift to see what nature brings, and that this reflection of the mountain, the rainbow fluorite's also teaching us what we need, this organization of Virgo within the chevron, this ability to really bring in our higher consciousness and to have that be connected to our heart, this connection from the green and the purple, connecting divine consciousness into the heart, creating this infinity loop connection so that we can really hold that energy and embody it in a very practical way to help us to manifest what we need to manifest and build and grow and continue to do in this month. So a really exciting and beautiful time. It continues to be lots of work to continue to do. Remember to bring about that balance with your energy, to pace yourself. It's not about getting there first. It's about getting to where you're trying to go actually, and what you're trying to achieve, and that the journey is just as important as the destination. So do not burn yourself out trying to achieve your goals, or you negate it altogether. To come always to the core of faith and trust. Message of surrender has been coming so strongly for me in recent times, and it continues to do, and it shows up again in this porcupine card. So a need to really move into deeper trust and faith and surrender, and to play and to be in innocence, and to continue to do our shadow work, to continue to pay attention in a very alert and aware, conscious manner to our habitual thinking patterns and ways that we create disharmony and conflict and separation within our own beings, and to work on healing that and bringing back unity consciousness. That connecting with our higher self will help us do this and help us to see where we're out of this unity consciousness more clearly, so that we can bring it back together, and that all of this is a part of us manifesting more sacred vision that we need, that will help us with challenges on our path, that will help us to become even more in alignment with our divine life purpose, and all the beautiful ways that that may look. Big blessings of feminine energy and all of the earth energies that are present for us this month. Big blessings in the Pisces full moon that's coming up, and of course that's going to be followed by another super new moon at the end of the month. So quite a lot happening for us. I really encourage you to make sure that you take time to check in with your physical body and your well-being, to connect with your resonant friends and kin and soul family, community, and to make sure that you spend time with yourself, doing this inner work, going within, going into the void, surrendering into the womb, and finding out what it is that needs to be let go so that you can receive. It's always like that. If we want to receive this sacred vision, we need to let go of what's blocking us to do it first and foremost. So my loves, that is our reading for the month. I hope that it's been helpful for you and it will help you on your journeys. As always, take what resonates and leave what does not. If you're interested in going in deeper into what's up for you this month or in any area of your life and you want to have your own intuitive spread, reach out to me and we can make that happen, sending me a message here, sending me an email, or looking at me through my website, which all that information is down in the description or in the link in my bio. And if you're also curious in talking to me about my healing services, I do integrative heart healing to help clear out emotional and energetic, subconscious, psychological blocks, as well as soul purpose mentoring and coaching to help you to step even more fully into your purpose. So if you're interested in working out with me, reach out. Working with me, we work it out. Reach out to me and we'll discuss that and go from there. Wherever you are in your life, whatever you're doing, I want you to know that you're right where you need to be. You're right where you need to be. Everything that's on your plate right now is perfect. It may be painful in some ways, ecstatic in other ways, and it's perfect. It's just what it needs to be, giving you all of the tools and data and experiences you need to continue to climb your mountain. So don't give up. Have faith and trust that you can do it, that you have everything you need by your side. You have the stamina like elk to make it up to the top of this mountain. You have the ability like Black Panther to see in the night. You have the ability like Porcupine to just revel in the beauty and the innocence and the joy. You have what you need to receive this sacred vision. Open up and allow yourself to do that. Like, subscribe, follow, check me out on Instagram, check me out here on YouTube. Many blessings to you. Know that in truth, in all ways, in all things, we got this. So until next time, sacred rebel true hearts, I love you. You are divine. Have a glorious, beautiful month.